everybody, it's Gail from Gail's Bookish Things. I wanted to share with you a project that I'm working on for my daughter. She's getting married in October, and she asked me to do her wedding guest book. I did this for her older sister a couple years ago, and she likes this junk journal style. She did a project for our college using that kind of method, so she asked me to do this, and I was more than happy to agree to that because I do like making junk journals. I don't just keep making them because if nobody wants it, there's no point in making a journal. For a while there, I was making them, and I had several with no place to, have them go to. So I kind of slowed down on that. But when there's a reason, I love doing it. Her wedding is going to be themed on based on kind of fall colors, but maybe not as orangey and yellowy as we traditionally think. Her colors are going to be sort of like a soft coral, a wine kind of color, rust, or you could say copper. I think the groomsmen are wearing brown or gray. Anyway, so kind of a mix of, she kind of calls it like rustic, minimalist / not country though. So it was hard to pin down, but I have a little bit of a vision for it now. Anyway, so I picked out some papers that I thought would fit in well with the decorations and what everybody was wearing. So I do not have the whole thing done. I just thought I would show you this guest book / junk journal as it progresses. So my first step was to buy a bunch of paper. So I went to Joann's and Joann Craft and Fabrics and just got a bunch of stuff that I thought might work. And then my idea was, well, I'll show it to her and see what she likes. And let me switch my light here just a little. There we go. So here you can see, well, maybe you can't see. Let me show you so you can see. I've used really just 3 or 4, like 3 basic cardstocks here for the main pages. So I have this brown, gray, which her wedding invitation envelopes are gray, and this kind of, you might call it salmon, but I think it's kind of a coral, again gray, and again the brown. So the pattern I have here is brown, gray, coral for the center, gray, brown. So the center signature will be this coral. So originally I thought that I would put them in a book, in a junk journal like this, and just sew in 5 signatures into the cover, which I do not have made yet. That cover is always something that kind of comes together a little bit at the last minute for me. These little pearl things she liked, and I like how they look, but they're a little bit difficult to work with. They're kind of bumping out the pages. So it could be like this. So if this is the book spine, these will be sewn into it. But I'm going to do a hidden spine. So I'm going to sew these into cardboard, decorated with a paper, and then glue that into the spine of the book I decide to use. Kind of a gutted book is what I usually do. But she also likes the idea of a spiral bound. So I'm going to check with like FedEx or something. Because the other way that this could look is I could put these one inside the other. And I could like just sew it as one big book, one signature book instead of 5. And I kind of like that too. So I need to talk to her and see what she wants. But then if I can find out that they can spiral bound it, what I will do is cut these, or maybe have them cut them, because my cutting always ends up uneven. I don't care what scissors I have or whatever, it's always uneven. But so these would be cut, and then this would be spiral bound. So what it would look like is just like this, except these would be individual pages. She really likes the idea of it laying nice and flat. So I'm going to check into that before I do too much more with these. But in the meantime, I'm decorating the pages. So to backtrack a little bit, I got these your basic size cardstock like this. This one I'm having to not use. I glued this really pretty ribbon on, but I don't like the glue I used, and it just looks kind of weird, and I don't like that I put that there. I was trying to add some decor to each page. I love this. I'm real happy with that, but well, I'll ask her, but I'm not fond of that. I could cover that with washi, so it may be salvageable yet, but right now that one's kind of on the possibly do-over list. So my steps in doing this, again, I keep interrupting myself, get this and fold it. So these are cardstock pieces. They'll hold up well. And then this is more scrapbook paper type scrapbooking stuff. I thought this too, if I decide to, or if I can have it spiral bound, it will hold up better than a paper like this, in my way of thinking anyway. So again, I got these papers, folded them, and then I went back and kind of made a template. I cut the scrapbook paper that I selected down to size so that on each cover or front of the folded piece there would be something that fit in with her wedding decor. And then I went back and I tried to decorate each side in some particular manner, so we can thumb through those real quick and I'll show you. Here I glued on ribbon. I don't have anything here yet or here because this is the do-over one of this. I do like how I added that there, but I just didn't like that, how much that glue showed. And then when I tried to take a piece of paper that kind of stuck to it, I think that was the big thing. It ripped. Otherwise I would have covered that with washi. So, you know, fortunately I bought a few extra pieces, but let's take a little stroll through these and then I'll show you the other paper I got. Here's a scrapbook paper. This peachy corally type color fits in with the decor overall. There's a few added elements that aren't quite in her wedding, but you know, I mean, you need a little breakup in the constant look-alike, I think. It just mixes it up a little, and it's a small enough element where it won't be a problem. The big color that stands out is that and the creamy flowers, and her dress would be a kind of ivory. Here's another scrapbook paper. I bought these washi tapes. It came in a little set. It was a Park Lane. I have the label here. This, and I loved all these gold things. The only one that might not work is this middle one because of the words on it. They don't all apply to a wedding album, but they kind of look like gilting or gold plated kind of gold. Maybe you could even say an antique gold versus a super shiny reflective, and she likes that a lot. So I decided to just add simple decor to these pages using the washi and the stick-on half pearl pieces. The thought that I have is on these kind of pages they can put a picture of their wedding after the fact, and I may add a couple temporary ones of their engagement. And darn it, I did that wrong. I have the rough edge here. I wanted to have the smooth edge for writing, so we may do the cover or the first page 3 times over. Darn, that might work. I'll have to test it. Anyway, on these pages, the guests can sign their name or a little sentiment, and then on these it'll be for adding photos. I was going to say something about that. I do need to add decor there. That's really bugging me now. I wish I would have paid attention better. Shoot. Oh well, we'll think that through. So a lot of washi. As you can see, more scrapbook paper. Oh, I know what I was going to say. This dark color, and then I got distracted because I used the wrong side. I'm going to get some extra of those Uni Signo white ink pens. They're like a gel marker, and I think that'll work well. I will test that before we decide for sure. But so on the dark paper, the white lettering will show up, and then on the gray and coral, I think we'll probably get a black ink. So here I added this because I like the colors, and I added the pearls, and here I glued, well, no, we'll get to that in a minute. That's not on that one. I thought this was super pretty. And again, the navy doesn't quite fit in, but these colors right here are perfect. So it just mixes it up a little. And these are bold enough where next to this, I think that comes together well. I put a little strip of scrapbook paper here and lined it with washi. Now the reason I did this, one, it decorates the edge and makes it look prettier. But this is where there's that printing on the pages, and I didn't want to cut off all of that. Like I said, I don't end up cutting well. It's always uneven, so I just decided to disguise it, and that way keep the full page. And I'm noticing all sorts of little doodads. There's a little something there. Blast. Anyway, this one was super pretty. So that fits in with her rustic, kind of natural theme, but it's like classy rustic. Maybe that's the best way of describing it. Formal enough, you know, but not like a super tuxedo and all that kind of formal. The guys will have suspenders and bow ties. So this is a simple one here. I just used that simple gold washi. If this ends up being the center, I think that'll look nice, but it all depends on how we decide to use these pages, if we're keeping them together or in a book. And then here, I glued some scraps of the pieces I was using and lined it with washi. And I did this one on the correct side. Gee, I can't believe I did that. And then here I just cut out some of the scrapbook paper to embellish that edge a little. The problem with this setup then is we have this here and this here. So I don't know if we want it to look like that. And then I glued this on, and I'm just not loving how that looks. This is a pretty sheer ribbon. It's got kind of a coppery gold shimmer or sheen to it, and it's really pretty, but the glue I used, which was this, I don't like as well as when I use this. This dries clear and goes on clear. This seems to dry quickly, and it's very tacky, as is called tacky glue, but I don't like that. So we'll see. Maybe a washi strip will cover that up. And that's what I did here too. Covered that up, washi, and a little pearl. And this one, as you can see, this went around both pages. My goal here was to mix it up to make it fun to look at. So every page is slightly different, but still uniform enough that it works together. And she also doesn't want it super frilly. In some of my junk journals, I've sewn on lace or glued on lace. And I asked her about that, and she said that would be okay if there wasn't a whole lot, because it's not like a lacy wedding. It's more a simple elegance, you know, something like that. Her dress won't be a real ornate one. It's a simple design. So anyway, that's what I have going so far. But the other thing I came across when I was looking for papers to use were these beautiful papers. They were kind of like it says AC cardstock. They were wrapped in the paper aisle. That's probably causing a terrible glare. But I thought they were beautiful, and sure enough, my daughter loved them. So let me take it out of the cellophane. I think they're just wrapped because it's like a vellum, and I guess this is just protecting it. The little thing above the paper display said you could fold this, you could sew it, etc. So it'll be good when I attach the signatures, if I do. Like I said, we may have it bound, but my plan is to measure this out and cut it and use that as the opening page to the book. I will have a front and back cover and spine that I'm going to probably cover with muslin and then glue on some scrapbooking paper on the front and back, but I just thought that just sets the tone. It's that gold that she likes, but it's a nice bright and bold print. I don't know if that's being too reflective. It's so pretty. I'm not always drawn to that kind of thing. It's generally not my style, but I love that. So that's going to fit just right. So I'll just trim that off, fold that, and this will be like the front flap. If I decide to go with this one inside the other setup, that will be used there. Otherwise, if I just line them all up, this one will fold, and I think what I was going to do is just put it around the first one or something like that. But now that I think about it, I kind of like it being all the way around, no matter how I decide to arrange the inside inserts. And then the next one was like this gold paper that looks terribly glary on the screen, but is like a gold leaf is what I'm trying to think of, like a gold plated something. And it has that kind of aged look to it, which I think is super pretty. It's really bright and goldeny, but there's something a little bit rustic to it. My apologies for the glare. Like I've said before, I don't have the best lighting set up, but it's what I have, and it works. So there's little texture pieces, and there's pieces where it's not solid, so it looks kind of aged, kind of vintagey, but vintagey in a way that my daughter will like. Just has to be just right. Anyway, rustic, distressed maybe is a better word. Anyway, so that's my plan there. This one is more of a cardstock versus a vellum. My plan for that is to fold it and put that in the middle here. So we'll start with a gold element, and we'll have a gold element in the center. If I sew these signatures all together, I think I might bring these together to hide the stitching and just have this another place to mount pictures, and I may glue that up because I don't want just that stark bold white page in there. It just doesn't go with the rest, and I don't want to ink it up. I've done that with some albums and it works, but sometimes I don't have good luck with that. It ends up looking messy. So I like to do the ink with my Bible journaling or something, but I'm not sure I want to add that to her album. I do like this sticking out, other than the weird way that glue dries. So I just need to go get some more of my favorite crafting glue or find a different one. I think this would be fine if it were the clear, but it's almost a little too heavy duty for what I needed. So, but definitely sticks well. So there you go. That's the progress I have done on my daughter's wedding guest book. So it's going to be fun. My trick will be decorating it enough, but not over decorating it, because that's what I do. So, and now I need to think about what to do with this. So really the pattern is front decorated, inside's plain, back decorated. I was thinking I could flip this, you know, like this, and have them right there. Maybe that would work. And then I could put their wedding invitation there. I'm not sure. I may just have to redo that again or see if the do-over one is okay with her. She's not really super picky, but she does like it a certain way, so I want to make sure she likes how her album's done. This is going to be narrow enough that I think I can find a little book from Goodwill or the dollar store that I really don't have to alter too much to use. The main thing that's going to be in here is just a few photos and people's signatures, so it's not going to bulk up a lot like a typical junk journal. I'll show you the cover I'm thinking of. I have this from a while back. I just picked it up at one of those places where you can grab a book. Leave a book, grab a book. Well, I just grabbed a book. I didn't leave one because I was at the park, and they had it at a park. So how many people bring a book to the park to leave? So anyway, whoever donated it, I can assure you it's been put to good use. So this would fit but it's a little long, so I will probably not use that. I'm not sure why I thought that was good earlier. I don't think that's the best, but let's see. It may be okay. I'll ask her if she likes that idea. Maybe that would keep everything more protected. Anyway, we'll see about that, and I can show you the progress. What I do, though, typically is take a repurposed book, something that was at the resale shop or a giveaway or something, and I just cut here and remove. This one's kind of yucky there. I remove the bulk of the book. Some people call that gutting the book. Just take an X-Acto knife, slice that out, and then what I'll do here is sew the signatures to a cardboard and then glue them in here, and then this would be redecorated with a fresh paper, and obviously this won't work, so it's got that, so I would cover that and I would do something with this. Like I said, a lot of times on my nicer albums I'll cover it with muslin and then glue on a scrap paper thing here and there and something to disguise the original spine. But I will show you that. We'll let this project unfold. I'll go ahead and post this one, and it'll just be a step-by-step thing rather than a junk journal with me type video. I just thought I would kind of show you the steps. Most of that I'm sure anybody out there that does anything with paper or crafting can figure out. I just thought it would be fun to share the journey with you. And if you do have any questions, though, if junk journaling is new to you and you just happened upon this, I'd of course be happy to answer any questions. Or if you have a suggestion of something that might work or could be added to this, I'm always open for ideas. I appreciate people watching and commenting at any time. So for today, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.